Hello everyone, welcome back to Castle Connections. Recently we've had a ton of questions about open enrollment here at Otsego Local Schools. And we've seen a lot of social media posts with a lot of confusion and a lot of questions. So today on Castle Connections, I want to share with you all of the ins and outs about open enrollment. So what is open enrollment? Open enrollment is a system that allows parents or guardians to choose a school for their child that is outside of their designated residential school district. More simply put, it just allows a child who does not live within the boundaries of our school district to attend Otsego Local Schools. So naturally, you may wonder, why would Otsego Local Schools want to accept open enrollment? And that is a great question. There are several reasons why open enrollment is beneficial, but the biggest reason is financial. Open enrollment is a strategic way for Otsego to increase revenue for our district. However, there are a lot of misperceptions about that. Many people believe that open enrollment is costing us more money. So let's take a moment and look at what open enrollment looks like here at Otsego. Because we place limits on the number of students able to open enroll here, we avoid the need to add staff and other personnel. Currently, we have 174 students who are open enrolled into Otsego Local Schools from various other districts. For each student that open enrolls here at Otsego, the state gives the district $3,227.94. This year alone, Otsego will see over $500,000 in revenue generated through open enrollment. However, it is also important to note that we do have 60 students who open enroll out of Otsego, and we will see almost $200,000 follow those students to other school districts. Let's go even further and take the 174 open enrolled students at Otsego and break them down by grade level. If you take a deeper look into those numbers, you will see open enrollment numbers are divided fairly evenly throughout the district by grade level. This is really important because many people believe that if we eliminated open enrollment, we could cut costs by reducing teachers. So let's now take a moment and look why this is not the case. Let's take a look at 5th grade for a second. Currently, the 5th grade class has 132 students and 5 general education teachers. That means for every 1 teacher, there are 26.4 students. This ratio must stay below 28 students for every 1 teacher. If the number were to go above 28 per class, we would be required to hire additional staff to assist with these high class sizes. So going back to our example, of the 132 students in 5th grade, 14 of them are open enrolled students. Notice that if we eliminated these 14 open enrolled kids and cut 1 teacher as a result, we would now have a 5th grade that consists of 118 kids and only 4 teachers. But the student-to-teacher ratio now becomes 29.5 students per every 1 teacher, which exceeds the 28-to-1 ratio. Therefore, we still need 5 teachers in 5th grade even if we eliminated the 14 open enrolled students. And keep in mind, eliminating these 14 students also eliminates over $45,000 that we get from their enrollment. Finally, the last thing that has been asked a lot recently is about the gap between the average cost per pupil and the state money given to Otsego for students enrolled. In order to understand this, you have to understand how this is all figured out. And so let's go all the way down to the individual student level. We know that the state gives Otsego $3,227.94 per student enrolled. This is for both in-district and open enrolled students. This dollar amount is determined by the state funding formula. Otsego has no say in this amount. We also know that the average cost per pupil at Otsego is $11,486.09, which is the lowest in Wood County, and here is where many people get lost. The average cost per pupil is determined by looking at all the costs associated with educating a child. But it's important to note that some of these costs are fixed and would be spent whether we had open enrollment or not. Things such as our electrical bill, the costs associated with transportation, salaries, and even the elementary school building payments. These things are not impacted by open enrollment. However, there are also variable costs to educating children. A great example of a variable cost would be if a student needed special services such as vision or special placement. These costs do not apply to every student, but they do happen often. However, what is critical to note is that if an open enrolled student needs special services and the cost of that student exceeds the amount given by the state, then the district that student lives in pays for these excess costs. So if the state gives us roughly $3,228 for an open enrolled student, and that student needs $7,000 in special services, we will receive the excess costs from the school district that the student lives in the amount of $3,772. And so there you have it, open enrollment at Otsego local schools. I hope this video helped answer any questions that you may have had or cleared up confusion on the topic. But if you're still feeling confused and you have questions, feel free to reach out to me anytime. I'm more than happy to address your questions and concerns. Thanks for taking the time to watch and listen to this episode of Castle Connections. Have a great day.